God gives us the bad to make us strong enough for the good. So that you won't forget because God is creating in us a humility to where we have a dependency upon Him. And God is reminding us that there are things in life that are worth much more than food, and He's specifically talking about His commands, His words to us are more than just the food. And we're supposed to humbly depend on God no matter what situation we find ourselves. In the good times, depend on Him. In the bad times, depend on Him. See, we know we depend on Him in the bad times. But then when times get good, we don't pray as hard. It's so much easier to stop praying when you're no longer in pain. It's so much easier to no longer pray where you don't have to wonder whether you can cover the rent because you got money in the bank. And He says, that's the time. It's before you get the education. Before you get the education where you're trusting me. And He says, I wanted you to be in a position where you trusted me. And some of your lives, I saw it this way so clearly in the realm of the Spirit, that for so many of us, it was as though God was trying to refresh us from all of the pain of life by bringing us like a glass of lemonade or a glass of sweet tea. We're in the South, and so we like sweet tea. And it was as though God was bringing us sweet tea. But when you make sweet tea, you have the tea brewed, and there's a little lemon that is there that is terribly bitter. The lemonade is terribly bitter. You know, if you do it like we do it in the South, we don't just put a little sugar in it. Sugar makes everything better. And if sugar doesn't make it better, butter will. But we've got the glass of lemonade. And sugar is already in it. But you know what? You ever gotten unsweetened tea and you put the sugar in it and it goes straight to the bottom? You got all of the ingredients for sweet tea. You got the water, you got the brewed tea, you got the lemon. But you don't taste the sweetness in the tea until there's a stirring. There has to be an agitation. And maybe what you're going through in the 40 years of the wilderness, you've been drinking bitter lemon water and wondering why God has not added any sweetness. And you wonder, God, why am I going through what I'm going through right now? And I'm just here to remind you that He's just shaking you to agitate the sugar. It's in you, it's at the bottom, and it's got to come up so that it mixes into every particle of what God is doing in your life. And there's a shaking that is going on. And so He lets things start being shaken in your family, shaken on your job, shaken in your neighborhood, shaken with your medical report, shaken, because there's a sweetness that God is trying to get to in the lemonade and the sweet tea. And the sugar is in you, and all that you've needed is the shaking. And you wonder why things won't settle down. But God's trying to make you sweet. He's trying to make you sweet. But there's a shaking. The sugar is in you, baby. The sugar is in you. The sugar is in you. The sugar is in you. Tell somebody next to you, the sugar is in you. The sweetness is in you. It is in you. You don't get it mixed into all of the parts until you get agitated. You've got to have a shaking and a stirring and a shifting and a moving. And God's got some ice on the inside of you, and He's got you in a shaker, and you're wondering, God, when is my life gonna settle down? When, God, my thoughts, I can't sleep at night. I don't know what you're doing. Why, God? I'm so thirsty. God, when is the bitterness gonna stop? Jesus, help me. Jesus, help me. Jesus, help me. And there you are, not realizing God is stirring your ingredients. Sweetness is already in you. It's already in you. It's already in you. God's got a plan.
God's got a plan.
There's purpose in it.
I want to be in it.
There's purpose
Hallelujah.
in it, even when you don't understand it. There's purpose in it. There's purpose in it.